Psychology tricks that I learned in my general psych class last year that I know work because I use them. People tend to get really uncomfortable in silence, and they subconsciously try to fill this by talking. This works especially well if you're in a verbal altercation with somebody and they're kind of being an ass. Just don't say anything. Let themselves dig a deeper hole and listen to the word vomit spew out of their mouth. You can tell which one of your friends likes who by just paying attention a little bit more. If you're in a group and something funny happens or somebody tells a joke, people tend to be laughing while looking at the person they like most. I also want to apologize in advance if you do this and you notice that nobody's making eye contact with you. This last one helped me out a lot when I worked in customer service. If somebody is yelling at you or being a dick, just be like, excuse me, you have a little something in your teeth. This makes them feel very self-conscious and it stops them in their tracks every time. If you guys like this, I'll do a part 2. Part 2 of psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. You know how a joke ceases to be funny the more you have to repeat it? You can actually use this to your advantage. Let's say you're in a group, somebody's making fun of you and you don't like it. Just be like, what? And they'll repeat it and be like, I'm so sorry. What'd you say? I didn't hear that. And they'll say it again. By the 3rd or 4th time, nobody's going to be laughing at their joke anymore. If you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you. I am a very awkward person, and I've been making embarrassing videos of myself online for a very long time, so I unfortunately have to remind myself of this a lot. If you're ever cringing at something embarrassing you did years ago, stop yourself and try to remember something humiliating that somebody else did. You probably can't, so this more than likely means that nobody remembers that one time in junior year where you unironically pronounced the word memes instead of memes. If you guys still like this, I'll do a part 3. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 3. If you look or stare at somebody's lips in conversation, it's going to make them think that you're interested in them. But if you look at their forehead, it's going to make them feel really intimidated and really uneasy. Please use these wisely. Don't go around making people feel weird for no reason. So, I'm not saying that it's okay to lie, because it's not. But if you ever need somebody to believe a lie that you're trying to tell them, go ahead and slip in an embarrassing detail about yourself. This will work every time, as long as you say it with confidence and the lie is believable in the first place. This last one I use in customer service all the time. If you made a mistake or something's taking a really long time, do not apologize or say, I'm sorry to the customer. Instead, thank them and say something along the lines of like, thank you for your patience. This takes the focus off the error that happened and then puts praise on them for even having to put up with you, which usually puts them in a better mood than just saying, I'm sorry. Part 4 coming soon. I am completely out of flannels, but I still wanted to make part 4 of psychology facts that I know work because I use them. If you're walking and you're in a hurry, just stare straight ahead at where you're going. People will get out of your way. I use this trick when I'm riding around campus on my Heelys. I just stare straight ahead, not making eye contact with anybody, and it works. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and you hand them something, they're gonna take it. And it's super funny because they don't realize it. Same with the other way. If they have something in their hand and you stick out your hand, they're gonna give it to you and not know why. Smiling can literally change your life. Smile at the bartender, you're gonna get a drink faster. Smile at your coworker, they're more likely gonna take that shift trade request. Smile at your kids, they're gonna feel loved. Smile at your partner, they're gonna wonder what they did to make you so happy. Smile at me, I'm gonna smile back. Smile at everyone you meet. Smile in the mirror sometimes and you're gonna feel better. By the way, it blows my mind how many of you guys enjoy these videos, so I mean, as long as you guys keep watching and keep liking them, I'm gonna keep making them. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 5. False attribution of arousal is a real thing. If you're going on a first date with somebody, go somewhere exciting that's gonna get their heart pumping. It's gonna make them think that they like you more, like a roller coaster or a horror movie. Don't do anything boring. I use this next trick when I worked in sales because it works. People tend to trust you a little bit more if you mirror their body language. It's weird that we work this way, but don't go overboard with it. Just kind of subtly do the same hand gestures they're doing. You're gonna get a sale, they're gonna like you a little bit more. If you just met somebody and you want them to like you, you want them to be your friend, but you're not sure how to go about that, just use their name in conversation. Again, don't go overboard with this, but it does build a sense of trust and friendship right off the bat. It's a lot more personal to say, bye Mark, instead of just bye. Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to like you back. I also know these work because I use them. Make sure you're around your crush a lot. This is how I got my middle school crush to be my high school girlfriend. I made sure we had all the same classes together. I sat next to her on the bus. I even started playing basketball because she was on the team, you guys. Think about it. Somebody's gonna like you more if they're around you versus if they never see you. Wear the color red more, or just have the color red on you at all times. Drive a red car if you have to, man. I don't know. Researchers aren't too sure why this one works, but it does build attraction, so try it out. Make your crush known to them, you guys. Do not keep your feelings a secret. This is the worst possible thing you can do. It's a lot harder than it sounds, but it works. Trust me. I had an ex tell me that she didn't even consider having feelings for me until I told her that I liked her. And then we ended up dating for 5 years, so it works, you guys, I promise. I got a lot more of these, so if you guys like this, I'll do another video. And yes, I am wearing Heelys. Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to like you back that I know work because I use them. If you're having a face-to-face conversation with your crush, make eye contact and smile. I'm telling you guys, I told you last time, smiling will change your life. It's gonna show them that you're interested and listening to them, which is gonna get you some points. This next one is super easy. Just ask them questions. Get your crush talking about themselves because everybody likes to talk about themselves. It's gonna make them think that you actually wanna know about them, which you should. You like them. Plus, it's gonna make them feel more connected to you because they're opening up and sharing a part of themselves. Plus, if they ask questions back, this is a great sign that they're interested back, even if it's just a little bit. The bandwagon effect is a little bit more manipulative, but if you're desperate, it might work. So get a friend or two to mention in front of your crush how cool or attractive they think you are. Studies have shown that people will be more attracted to you if they think other people think you're attractive. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 6. If you're ever nervous about something, chew gum. It'll trick your brain into thinking you're relaxed because we're wired to think that we're safe while we're eating. Don't chew gum in the middle of an interview, an audition, or a date or something, but use it beforehand to calm your nerves. You can tell a lot about somebody by their feet. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and they're facing you, congratulations, they want to be there. But if they're turned away, their feet aren't facing you, they want to leave, they want this conversation to end right now. Stop letting people interrupt you. It's making you seem weak. Your words matter. So if somebody tries to interrupt you, don't stop talking. Don't even try to talk louder. Talk in the same pace, volume, and tone that you were before. They're gonna feel awkward and shut the fuck up. I have a feeling you guys know what I'm about to say. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Part 7, yeah! If you're doing something that you don't want to get caught for, you don't want to be seen, don't look at the person or the people you're trying not to get caught by, if that makes sense. Eye contact subconsciously makes us aware that people are looking at us, so if you don't make contact of the eyes, you're more than likely not going to get caught. When you first meet somebody, try to notice the color of their eyes. This moment that it takes to do this is the perfect amount of time to show them that you're polite and interested, but not enough time for it to come off as creepy. Plus, they're going to like you a little bit more. If you want somebody to agree with what you're saying, nod while saying it. This subconsciously tricks their brain into thinking what you're saying is a fact. This works especially well in job interviews. Part 8 is coming soon, so you should definitely follow me if you haven't already. Come on, I'm fun to be around. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Shoot for the stars, you guys. If you ever want something from somebody, make sure you make your original offer ridiculously high. That way in the compromise, you get the actual number that you want, whether you're trying to sell something to somebody and you just want a good price, or if you just want your kids to eat more vegetables. If you know that somebody doesn't like you and you want to change that, ask them for a really small favor. Ask them to borrow a pen or something. Initially, if they don't like you, they're not going to want to give you the pen, but it's such a small favor to ask that they're going to do it anyway. And for some reason, in their mind, it's going to trick them into thinking that you're not that bad. Make sure you give the pen back though, because I don't like people that take my pens. So, you know how people tend to remember the beginning of things and the end of things way more than the rest of the things? If you want to be more memorable and stand out in somebody's mind, you can use this to your advantage. If you ever have a job interview, try to be the first or last one. If you ever go on a date, make sure it's at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. You're going to make a much stronger impression on them. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 9. To avoid procrastination, you need to be able to do the things you need to do in your head before you can do them in the physical world. And one great way to do this is to think about the thing you need to do step by step right before you go to sleep. That way when you wake up, everything's already planned out for you. You just gotta do it. If you're ever negotiating with somebody, whether it be on the price of a car you're trying to buy or the salary for your new job, or if you're just trying to figure out who does what chores, always flinch on the very first, sometimes the second offer. A flinch can be like a small wince, a sigh, or just an eye roll. It is guaranteed to get you a better deal. When you're in a conversation with somebody who will not stop talking or let you get a word in, try dropping something like your keys or a pen or something. This will interrupt them for that split second and give you a chance to say what you want to say. Psychology Tricks Part 10 is going to come soon. You might as well follow me if you want to see it. Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to actually like you back. If you act super excited every time you see somebody, they're eventually going to be really excited to see you back and not even know why. You could also take this the next step further and figure out your crush's favorite type of candy and then give them that candy every time you see them. If you do this enough, eventually, even after you stop giving them candy, they're still going to have that subconscious reaction to be very happy to see you. You need to show subtle signs that you're interested in this person, be able to spark an interest back in you. So like if there's a dance or a party or something and they ask you, oh, hey, are you going? Say something along the lines of like, oh, only if you're going. It's going to show that you like being around them, and it's definitely going to bubble up some questions within themselves. This one might come off as obvious, but just like be you. Don't try to be somebody that you think your crush might like, because it's going to come off as way more genuine if you just let your personality shine through rather than trying to act like somebody you're not. Besides, your personality is what's going to make you likable, and those little quirks that you have are usually what somebody likes the most about you. Welcome to part 10 of psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Did you know that colors affect your mood a lot? Cool colors like blue, green, and purple can make you feel more relaxed and slow you down a bit, but warm colors like red, orange, and yellow can make you feel more aggressive and impulsive, which is really good for sports teams and why you always end up overpaying at Target for some reason. They could also make you really hungry, which is why companies like McDonald's, Wendy's, KFC, In-N-Out, Domino's all use these in their logos. If you take more note about the colors around you and how they make you feel, it's going to give you a leg up in taking control of your own emotions. Countless studies have shown that if you listen to classical music, or really any music that doesn't have lyrics in it, while studying, your grades will improve. Like seriously, just do it. I personally listen to lo-fi hip hop, but you can throw on some Bach or Mozart if you want to. I'm not here to judge you, man. I'm just trying to help you pass your test. So I have one more trick. I usually do 3, but I've ran out of time. So I'm going to make a part B to my part 10, so keep an eye out for that. Psychology tricks. Part 10B that I know work because I use them in my school bathroom, and we're just gonna hope that nobody walks in. Somebody walked into the bathroom, so we're going to a new one. Are you the type of person that gets that itch to buy like a brand new phone every single year, even though you know it's gonna break your bank and you have a perfectly fine working phone to begin with, but you just love the feeling of getting a new phone? Try this instead. Try replacing your phone case every once in a while, that way you get a new feel. Also replace the screen protector every time it gets gross or dirty or cracked, because there's 2 brands. There's Zag and Armor Edge that have lifetime warranties, which means every time you want to get a new one, you can. You just have to have your receipt and then you can go and replace it for free. I've been doing it for years, and yes, I did change bathrooms again because somebody walked in and I'm an awkward piece of shit. One last thing you can do to scratch that itch and trick your brain into thinking you got a brand new phone is actually replacing the battery every time your battery health gets past like 80%. It's $40. I'd highly recommend it. You get basically another year out of your phone. I've had this thing since junior year of high school. I'm a junior in college now. Works perfectly fine. Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to actually like you back. Part 3. The best advice that I've ever gotten is to treat your crush like you would a new acquaintance. You don't meet somebody new and then immediately expect daily texts or hanging out once a week, or you don't overthink like everything you do and say around them. And this is exactly how you should treat your crush, because it's going to help you relax a little bit. It's going to show you you're not completely obsessed with this person, even if you are, and it's going to make all these other tricks a lot easier if you just don't overthink it. For the love of God, please compliment the person that you like. Genuinely compliment them. If you like a guy, they probably don't get compliments all that often. So when you do say something nice, they're going to eat it up and it's going to stick with them a lot longer. But if you like a girl, they probably get a little bit more compliments. So you have to make it stand out. Don't just say, hey, I like your shoes. Say, hey, I really like how you wear your hair down like that. It looks really good. Or like, hey, I really like the color of that shirt. It makes your eyes pop. This sounds obvious, but not everybody does it. Take the extra steps to be attractive. Work out, eat right, do your hair. Nobody's gonna fall in love with you when you're walking around Target in your PJs and flip-flops. Most people get uncomfortable if their TV or radio volume aren't divisible by 2 or 5. People who speak 2 or more languages subconsciously change their entire personality when they switch from one another. Also, if you're bilingual, I got a question for you. What language do you think in? For some reason, it's really hard for our brain to just make up other human faces, so the strangers that you see in your dreams are people that you've seen in real life. Psychology tricks that I know work because magic. Subliminal mind tricks are real, and you can use them to kind of brainwash people or implant thoughts into their head without them even realizing it.
It can be overt, not subtle at all, like watch Magic for Humans on Netflix. Or it can be subtle, like think of a card.
3 of diamonds.
Have you been tricking me this whole time?
The entire time. How do you think I'm here?
In order to know what number someone's thinking, they're trying really hard to not let you know they're thinking of that number. And if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can tell when they're trying really hard to act normal. It means they're not acting normal.
You can see if they're like lying or if they're trying to hide something by little winces in their face or if they're like glancing off to the side or something.
You can throw somebody off too by asking them to repeat the same thing over and over again. For example, say the word silk 5 times.
Silk, 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 silk.
Yeah, what do cows drink?
Water.
Damn, she's good.
I might have said milk in my head. Psychology tricks to fuck with people's minds that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Pull out a pack of gum, offer the person you're talking to a piece, and then put it back without taking any for yourself. That person, if they're observant, is gonna have a lot of questions. So a friend actually did this one to me once, and it fucked my whole day up. If you're ever having a conversation with somebody, just stop, look them dead in the eye, and go, wake up. And then just immediately go back to the conversation like nothing ever happened. If somebody on the road is driving like an asshole, your first reaction is probably going to be to flip them off. But stop. You can do this better. Instead, give them a thumbs down. It hurts just a little bit more. Please use these wisely. Psychology tricks to fuck with people's minds that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Pull out a pack of gum, offer the person you're talking to a piece, and then put it back without taking any for yourself. That person, if they're observant, is gonna have a lot of questions. So a friend actually did this one to me once, and it fucked my whole day up. If you're ever having a conversation with somebody, just stop, look them dead in the eye, and go, wake up. And then just immediately go back to the conversation like nothing ever happened. If somebody on the road is driving like an asshole, your first reaction is probably going to be to flip them off. But stop. You can do this better. Instead, give them a thumbs down. It hurts just a little bit more. Please use these wisely. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's head that I may or may not use. You'll never know. When ordering at a place like Starbucks or anywhere else where they ask for your name for the order, always look at the cashier's name tag and respond with that, regardless of gender. They're gonna give you a confused look and you have to just remain serious about it. It's funny every single time. Be polite and hold the door open for somebody, but this time, make sure they're at like an awkward distance away, like 30 or 40 feet, and just hold the door open for them and just be happy about it. They're gonna say thank you, but they're gonna be very uncomfortable. You've been in a coma for the last 2 years. We're sending messages any way that we can. Your family misses you. Wake up. Use Bing as a verb in place of Google, so instead of saying, hey, Google it, say, hey, Bing it, and watch all your friends and family disappear around you. Psychology tricks to fuck with people's heads that I may or may not use. You'll never know. If someone's taking a shit in a public restroom and you know that they're waiting for you to leave because they're poop shy, when you leave, open the door again to make it sound like somebody just came in right after you. When standing in a group of people, like in a big circle talking, slowly move into the person's personal space on your left. They'll inevitably and unconsciously move into the person on their left space, and so on and so forth. And you can try to see how many times you can make it in a full circle before somebody gets annoyed and leaves. I've been able to make about 1.5 times before somebody called me out, like, what the hell are you doing? Ask somebody if they know all the words to I'm a little teapot, and really emphasize all the words. The vast majority of adults will literally just start singing I'm a little teapot, and if you're lucky, they'll start doing the hand motions too to try and remember it. Side note, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm really happy you guys like this series. I also have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to start up. If you want to go check that out, it's only JS. I just posted a YouTube video about aliens. Go check it out. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. When meeting somebody for the first time, greet them and say like, oh, nice to see you again. And most of the time, people just don't want to appear rude, so they're gonna go along with it. But sometimes you'll get that person that's like, oh, nice to see you. Wait, what? Try walking the same speed as complete strangers. It is so funny every single time. So like get next to somebody, and if they speed up with them. And if they slow down with them. And eventually they're gonna be like, bro, are you fucking with me? And you gotta be like, no. Are you fucking with me? And they're gonna be really confused. And it's not creepy because you're not following them, you're just keeping up. This one's kind of mean, but if you're ever in a conversation with somebody and they're talking, stop them, get really serious, and then genuinely ask them, man, have you been crying? And like, they're more likely gonna say no, but either way, just say like, is it because of blank? Like somebody once did this to me and they're like, is it because of your hair? And I'm like, what's wrong with my hair? Side note, I'm gonna be posting a new YouTube video like tomorrow, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go do it. Only JS. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Walk up to a group of your friends, and if there's like 5 of them, be like, hey, if it isn't my 4 favorite people, and watch their faces be really confused. They try to figure it out. And if somebody tries to correct you, it's even funnier because they'll be like, hey, no, there's 5 of us here. Be like, hey, if it isn't my 3 favorite people. This one's really mean, but if you're ever in an argument with somebody, be like, you know, everything they say about you is true, and then walk away. This one also works really well in an argument, or if you're being bullied. Give the person that's yelling at you a sincere compliment. This will completely throw off the entire dynamic and throw down their guard, because it's really hard to be mean at somebody that's like being really nice to you. Psychology tricks that I know work because they're obvious as fuck. If you very quietly put your ear up against somebody else's ear, you'll hear them say, what the fuck are you doing?
If you pull someone's hair, they will get really, really mad.
If you kiss another dude's girlfriend, he will punch you in the face.
Go follow these guys, they're really, really cool. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Part 11.
You haven't done these in a while.
Nope. If you're ever looking for something, try looking from right to left rather than left to right, because your eyes tend to skip over things if you're looking in the same direction that you read in. People will associate the adjectives that you use to describe other people with your personality, so try complimenting people more often. This last one will help you do better on your test, that way you can get better grades. When you're studying, eat weird foods, and then during the test, eat the same weird foods like black licorice or root beer. This works because scent and taste are really, really closely linked to memory. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. I don't even know. I might. I probably don't, but I could. When you walk into an elevator, don't turn around and face the door. Continue facing everybody else. They're gonna be really fucking freaked out. And bonus points if you walk out backwards while maintaining eye contact. You are crazy. You're suffering from a mental illness, and everybody around you knows it. They're just too nice to say anything. When you're driving, just wave to random people like you know them. All day, they're gonna be wondering, who the fuck was that? Where the hell do I know them from? If you have roommates and live with somebody, this is really fun. Go to the bank, give them $5, ask for pennies. Boom, you have 500 fucking pennies in your possession right now. So much power. Hide them all over the house. Put them on the floor, in the microwave, in the fridge, in the pantry, in their pockets, in their shoes. They're gonna go insane. So I just made a new YouTube video and it's like totally cool. You guys should go check it out. Yeah. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Pretend to be on the phone next to somebody who's actually on the phone and respond to everything that they say loud enough that they can hear you, but not loud enough to where it's obvious. I can guarantee this is gonna freak them out in like there's a glitch in the Matrix type of way. If somebody coughs or sneezes, shush them very aggressively. This will throw them off. So this one's kind of mean, but that's the point of this whole series, so fuck it. If you're ever in a crowd full of strangers, just wave randomly really excited at somebody, and if they wave back, be like, no, behind you. Like, I wasn't fucking waving at you. Somebody did this to me once, and it left a permanent embarrassment scar on my soul. So I'm like really close to some milestones on YouTube and Instagram. If you don't follow me there yet, you should. I'm pretty cool, please. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. If you ever have trouble motivating yourself to do something, whether it's cleaning your room, doing your homework, whatever it is, just tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna sit down and do this for 5 minutes. And that tricks your brain into doing it. It's like, fuck it, it's 5 minutes, but you actually end up sitting there a lot longer, and this helps you get the shit you need to get done actually done. When you're at the gym, instead of counting your reps, 1, 2, 3, count them down, go 10, 9, 8. This will make it a lot easier to actually finish your sets. Only 10% of your happiness comes from external factors. The other 90% comes from your own thoughts and feelings. And this basically means that your mindset and how you react to the world around you is the number one contributor to how you feel. So basically, once you realize this, you can start rewiring your brain to think in different ways and become more accountable for your emotions. The same way that you're not responsible for anybody else's happiness means that nobody is fucking responsible for yours. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Tell someone we need to talk and really get that anxiety built up inside of them, and then go as long as you can without actually seeing them to talk. And when you finally do see them and they ask about it, be like, you know what? Doesn't even matter anymore. And then give them a pat on the back, fake smile, and walk away. When someone calls you, answer the phone and be like, hi, I'd like to speak to Alex. And then for some reason, the person on the other line is going to get confused and think that you called them and be like, oh, sorry, you called the wrong number, and then hang up on you. And in a few seconds, they're going to go fucking insane. If you really want to be a cunt, whenever you're eating with somebody, whether it's at lunch or a dinner party or something, ask them a question right when they put food in their mouth. They're going to do the awkward, obligatory, chew fast, point at their mouth, nervous laugh thing, and it's super funny every single time. And you can take it a step further, get other people to get in on it with you. Everybody's just asking this one person questions as soon as they're just taking mouthfuls of food. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Use a figure of speech that just does not exist, followed by know what I'm saying. People will usually just agree with you. Can't get 5 nickels without swallowing a quarter. Know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta bring your own shoes to the grocery store. Know what I'm saying? This one's mean, but again, that's the point of this series. Ask someone, so, what would you change about yourself, besides the obvious? Keep telling someone that their secret is safe with you. Even if they insist that they don't have a secret, just be like, yeah, man, yeah, I get it. It's safe with me. And if you see them from across the room, just smile, wink, and go, Also, if you're curious about how I did the Starlight headliner on the roof of my car, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel because I did an entire step-by-step on how to do it. Because this isn't a fancy car. I'm in a Honda Civic. I did this entire thing myself. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Use a figure of speech that just does not exist, followed by know what I'm saying. People will usually just agree with you. Can't get 5 nickels without swallowing a quarter. Know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta bring your own shoes to the grocery store. Know what I'm saying? This one's mean, but again, that's the point of this series. Ask someone, so, what would you change about yourself, besides the obvious? Keep telling someone that their secret is safe with you. Even if they insist that they don't have a secret, just be like, yeah, man, yeah, I get it. It's safe with me. And if you see them from across the room, just smile, wink, and go, Also, if you're curious about how I did the Starlight headliner on the roof of my car, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel because I did an entire step-by-step on how to do it. Because this isn't a fancy car. I'm in a Honda Civic. I did this entire thing myself. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Go up to your roommate or sibling or just somebody that you live with and be like, hey, have you seen our toothbrush? So in the first video of this series, I said that you can stop in the middle of a conversation, look at your friend very seriously and go, wake up. But you can also get creative with this and take it a step further. Start writing wake up in their books. Steam up a bathroom mirror, write it, and that way next time they take a shower, it's just gonna pop up. You can also do this to strangers. If you're walking by them, say it and keep walking and don't look back and just know that you messed up their whole day. I think that the biggest way anybody's ever messed with my head, and I don't even think they did it on purpose, they were like, you know what? I don't care what anybody else says about you. I think you're cool. And it just left me sitting there like, what does everybody say about me? I also just made a new YouTube video about the meaning of life that everybody seems to like so far, so you should go check it out, because, you don't know what the meaning of life is, unless you do, in which case share it, but I bet you don't, so go watch the goddamn video! Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. If someone's telling you a story that involves another person, no matter what they say, always respond with, that's actually not the way that I heard it. Every time, they're gonna change the story, even if it's just a little bit. If you're ever at a red light and there's a car next to you, but the lanes behind you are completely empty, put your car in reverse and slowly just start going backwards. The car next to you is gonna freak out a little bit, think that they're going forward, and slam on their brakes. This one would work really well if you can get everybody in on it to mess with your teacher. Get your entire class to casually just look into the corner of the room and stare. Your teacher's gonna follow the gaze and just be really confused with all of you. What are you doing? Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Part 13. If you're ever looking for an object that somebody hid from you in a room, just shout, I found it! They're more likely just gonna look in the direction that they hid it and then you can find it. If you're ever having trouble deciding between two things, flip a coin to make your decision. But the trick is while it's in the air, you already know the outcome that you want, so just go with that regardless of what the coin says. Acting as if you don't expect to get ID'd gets you ID'd a lot less. Same goes with getting stopped by security or police. Obviously, that doesn't work all the time, but if you're walking with confidence and purpose, whether it's faked or genuine, people don't tend to stop you. Psychology tricks to fuck with somebody's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Whenever somebody does something completely normal, just say, now I understand why everybody talks about you. If you go over to somebody's house quite often, sneakily and steadily steal a piece of their silverware, one piece at a time. Eventually, they're going to be down to 3 forks, a butter knife, and a spoon and wonder, what the fuck is going on? If you're ever at a stoplight with your window down, gesture to the car next to you to roll their window down. And if they do, roll your window up and just carry on and let the confusion settle in. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have saw that I finally got my silver play button for getting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I just wanted to say thank you. Psychology tricks to fuck with someone's mind that I may or may not use. You'll never know. Take your parents' phone, change your contact name to God, add a profile picture for some shits and giggles, and then call them at 3:33 in the morning. See what happens. Mail somebody an empty envelope every day for as long as you possibly can. It's going to drive them insane. And then just one day, stop. For the rest of their lives, they're just going to wonder what the fuck was going on. Next time someone calls the wrong number and asks for somebody that's not there, turn the tables around on them and ask them for somebody that's not there. They're like, hello? Is Linda there? You got to be like, no. Is Jerry there? They're going to be like, no. Whenever you walk through a doorway, your brain basically takes it as a cue to completely refresh your memory, which is why you forget shit when you walk into a new room. If you announce your goals to others, you suddenly become way less likely to actually complete them. For some reason, we just lose motivation. If you're ever standing on a high ledge and you think about jumping, this doesn't mean that you're suicidal. It's just your brain saying like, hey, you could get really hurt, just be a little extra careful. Same thing like if you're holding a baby and you're like, I could just drop this thing right now. Doesn't mean you're a monster. Your brain's just like, hey, this baby's delicate. Don't drop him. It's completely normal.